Will the Commanders finally be the first team to beat the Eagles this year and destroy their undefeated record? I guess we'll have to find out this week. The Commanders did play very, very well against the Vikings, and I think they led most of that game, and the Vikings had to make a little comeback. So the Commanders, they have a really good quarterback. Heineke is actually a pretty decent quarterback. I've liked him throughout his career so far. He's taken the Redskins to the playoffs a couple of times. He's always been kind of like consistently, decent. He's in the middle of the field, but like he does enough to win them games. And I think Carson Wentz is a pretty decent quarterback still. I know a lot of people hate Wentz. A lot of people give him a lot of shit. But if you've been watching Josh Allen the last couple of weeks, that's exactly what Carson Wentz usually looks like. So if you're going to blame one guy for making stupid mistakes, you got to blame Mahomes and Josh Allen and everyone else that does the same thing that Wentz does, actually more frequently than Wentz actually does it. So, anyways, that's my little rant about Wentz. I think that the Washington Commanders definitely have what it takes if they need to be like, hey, this is a divisional game. The Eagles are undefeated. We want to come in here. We want to be the ones that knock them out. We have the skill sets to be able to do it. And the Eagles, they're obviously going to be like the same way. They're going to be like, all right, this is a divisional game. This is very important on our schedule. Because it's not too late for the the Commanders, sorry, to make it into the playoffs. I mean, everyone is about 500 right now. They're at 4-5 sitting, so they can still sneak their way in if they continue to play good the rest of the year. Which I think the Commanders are going to continue to be decent going the rest of the year. They have a pretty good roster. I do think that they have some really good playmakers on their team. Their defense is pretty decent too. I think they could sneak their way into the playoffs if they continue to win more and more games and get a little bit better each week. So the Commanders are definitely not a team to just be like, oh, whatever, it's just the Commanders. They have some legitimacy to them. Where I think in order for the Eagles to win this game, they're definitely going to have to clean up their defensive rushing, being able to stop the rush. If they can clean that up, the Eagles definitely have a better chance. I mean, at least they're not losing games and making stupid mistakes and turnovers like the Bills and other teams are. But they've been challenged this year, but they haven't been losing in the second half of games. They've never trailed in the second half of games so far this year. They're always been up by a couple scores usually by the time halftime comes around. This last week against the Texans was the first time that the Eagles have not been had a comfortable lead in the second half until, in the third quarter they started to put up a little bit more points and they were able to close the game out by the time the fourth quarter ran around. But it was the first time that they were really truly challenged in the first half, and especially the second quarter where they've been so dominant all year. And I think the Redskins could be another situation like the Texans, but I think the Redskins will probably keep it closer by the end of the game, and this could end up being a one-score game by the end of it. And I could see the Redskins putting up a really big fight, possibly could be the team that give the Eagles their first loss because everyone's just discrediting them. The Eagles could be still thinking oh, we're untouchable, we're so great. I've been seeing a lot of the players, especially Darius Slay being we're unstoppable and stuff, So some of that could get to their heads, but I think for the most part, the Eagles should win this game, but you never know. It's the NFL. Everyone's getting paid to go out there and put on their best performance, and any given week, any team can get beat. As you can tell, there's been some. I mean, look at the Jets this year. The Jets are good. The Seahawks are freaking amazing. Any given week, man, anything can change. The Eagles could lose out the rest of the year. Anything can happen, but I doubt that'll happen, guys. I'm just saying. I'm just making an example. Anything can happen, but the Eagles, I think, are the best team in the NFL. Just in every aspect of a football team, they got it covered. Like I said, the only struggle they've had, though, recently is they're defending the run and stopping the run. That's something that hopefully they fixed and will continue to work on as the rest of the year goes. I mean, it is hard when you losing out on Davis. They're great. They're good run stopper. And anyways, I just wanted to give a quick video on this and my thoughts on this matchup going into this week. And I'll see you guys next time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. It means a lot. But yeah, peace.